Hey kids, you trying to get into Segment City? Well, you really shouldn't, because Segment City is a mature podcast, and listener discretion is advised. I'm just trying to look at... I know I'm in an alleyway. I know how I look, but I got some fireworks for you kids. I got snakes and I got sparklers. That's all I got. Oh, don't give me that.
Wild times, Will. Wild times.
Hey, can you just real quick? We're just gonna put some hand sanitizer on those hands.
Yeah, we're gonna sanitize.
We're gonna get some. Can you just lube up your mic a little bit with sanitizer? No. Don't suck on that.
I'm just gonna put my whole mouth on the mic.
Unless your spit is hand sanitizer.
It was recently in your mouth.
Oh no! Now you're getting my germs. My nasty germs.
Mics. Did you hear about the whole kerfluffle with the NBA? This is probably old news at this point.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so the NBA is shut down because of coronavirus.
Yes. We're speaking in a time that is dictated by coronavirus.
So some of our content this week will be related to said pandemic because it is as such a pandemic. It's on our minds, people.
Everything.
Pan. What I cook my fried chicken in.
Pan. Pretty good God.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Okay, so NBA shut down. Specifically, it has to do with this player named Rudy Gobert, who's a player for the Utah Jazz.
Oh, come on, Rudy. What are you doing? Rudy.
So about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, he was doing an interview, and they asked him about the coronavirus, and he gave an answer, and then the interview was over.
He's like, oh, I have that. What are the symptoms? Yeah, I have that.
So he, at the time, didn't know he was undiagnosed. He didn't have it. As he was getting up from the interview, he jokingly reaches and touches all the mics as a joke. 2 days later, it comes out that, yup, he has it. And not only does he have it, several of his teammates have it, and it's probably because of him.
That's a bold joke.
It's a bold joke hey, Rudy, in retrospect, not a good joke. Not a good play.
He didn't read the room, really. He touched the room, and that was the worst part.
And so it got like a little bit of a laugh, but I don't think it really got a wholehearted laugh because I think people were feeling a little nervous.
Even if he brought the house down, I think it wouldn't
be worth it.
Wouldn't be worth it.
And those were like reporters' mics, and they probably like went and collected them and stuff, and
and then it spread more.
Yeah, so he got some people sick. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to know.
Welcome to Dower City. Welcome to Pandemic City.
Infestation City. Population 0 because of social distancing. Everyone's inside.
The only people are me, Will Kane, the healthiest boy in the post-apocalypse.
And me, who definitely doesn't have it.
We just stared at each other for like way too long.
I hope I don't get it after saying that. Knock on wood. I'm trying to be very healthy.
We're in different rooms.
No, we're not.
But
we're in the same room. You were a little bit away. Don't touch me. We're a little bit away from each other.
Yeah.
And we only made out for 3 minutes before the show, so...
Okay, now you're just
down from our usual 10.
We gotta keep it healthy. It's just not sanitary to do it for more than
Coronavirus has a 5-minute rule, like, you better stop. You better stop making out. We're gonna come over there.
You know when the makeout police come and they're just like in 7 more minutes, these fuckers
are done in 7 minutes.
Put a fork in them. They're fucking done. That's what I said to my girlfriend. I go, 3, 2, 1. No more. And I push her face away, and I go, no, get away.
Get away. And so, yeah, that's who we are. You're listening to Segment City,
a podcast in which Theo and I present segments each week. Some are new, some are old, some are about coronavirus.
For instance, this one right now.
We're getting right into it. All right, let's go.
Was there more intro?
No, I mean, no.
Okay.
I think we're good.
All right, so right now.
You're just supplanting Will's stupid thought. We'll do that later.
Well, this is related to coronavirus.
Okay.
So, while coronavirus is serious, and we're taking it seriously.
Yes.
This is a comedy podcast.
We're going to joke about the funny pandemic. We're going to
joke about it a little bit. I have a collection of funny/interesting headlines that are born out of coronavirus.
Okay.
I'm just going to read through them, and if you want to hear any information more about them, I can read you a bit of the article. I just thought that the headlines were funny.
This is some Starship Troopers if you want more information, please.
This is Headline Surfer. Here we go. First one. Japanese store puts a curse on its toilet paper to prevent thefts.
I curse you. I curse you.
And it has a little image here. Maybe
I want to see a little pentagram.
It's a little like curse drawing that's like right next to some toilet paper rolls.
Oh,
it's like a curse.
That's very neat. Also, it looks like it's 3 eyes with like squigglies.
Yeah, it looks like a little shaman thing, or it's got some characters there.
It's really
maybe we'll post it.
Like but they had to print that out, or they just have the most perfect handwriting that it was the same.
So they were like, "Hey, if you're gonna take these toilet paper dolls, know that you're getting a cursed experience."
That's buck wild.
Yeah,
I don't think any store owner has ever cursed their own merchandise.
I curse these.
I curse that somebody just putting pentagrams on their own.
Does the curse come off if you purchase it?
No, that's when the curse begins.
But it's to prevent thefts.
Oh, because people are.
Do you think that they have one? You know when you go clothes shopping and they have those little magnet things that if you walk out the door, it starts beeping the alarm?
Yeah, but
do you think they have a
this time it's like it's just a little tip thing and it tips some holy water under your head. Or just a priest who's just with incense.
Just a little bit constantly. Of like holy hand sanitizer onto you.
He goes, I bless you.
I bless you. Next headline.
What was the curse for? Was it like you will get diarrhea and you'll use up all this toilet paper
I hope so. I hope that it's directly related to the use of the item. You will have an itchy bottom for the rest of your days.
Oh no, like you didn't wipe well enough. Oh,
that's right.
Your ass will bleed on
I love this quote
wipe.
From the guy Itachibe. It says, I did it as a joke, but it seems to have worked. People were stealing the toilet paper. I wanted this to shock them and think they might get hexed. People can be quite superstitious in Japan. I love that. It worked.
I love that this thief
like nobody
who's
got
willing
hurt.
to steal toilet paper who's just like I do gotta take a shit, but also I don't want to curse.
I would love if like you or I stole it, or like no, someone our age steals it, and then like
they're like, "See you, nerds."
See you later, and then like 70 years later, they're on their deathbed and they're like, "I shouldn't have stolen that toilet paper.
The curse.
Curse got me."
That's actually how Spawn begins.
Oh my god!
The story of Spawn is he gets cursed and then he goes to hell.
Next headline.
Yeah.
Coronavirus conference gets canceled because of coronavirus.
That's also I saw that and I thought it was so ironic.
Oh, there you go. r/not the onion. That's food for you. Next one. French mayor defends Smurf Rally after outcry over coronavirus.
You see these blue people. They just want to.
They just want to live their
lives being tiny people.
This virus affects humans, not Smurfs.
The only thing affecting these Smurfs is a big bald man and his cat.
I have to read you at least a first couple of sentences of this.
Yes, of course.
The mayor of a small French town has defended hosting a record-breaking gathering of 3,500 people dressed as Smurfs at the weekend.
Wait, how many people?
3,500.
Jesus Christ, I didn't know that was that big of a subsection of people that are really into Smurfs.
Yeah, all gathering in a small French town.
I love it. It's so good. It's kind of wholesome. But it is, but here's the thing.
In this setting, it's irresponsible.
It's irresponsible. Also, you low-key know they're fucking... You low-key know somebody's looking, somebody has a heart on.
Yeah.
But it's also, it's a children's show.
And
like,
it's
not supposed to be.
It's Papa Smurf. We all know it's
Papa Smurf and his big beard.
So, after hosting a record-breaking gathering of 3,500 people dressed as Smurfs on the weekend, after accusations that the event increased the risk of spreading the coronavirus.
Which it does.
And here's the quote. "We must not stop living. It was a chance to say we are alive."
I'm only alive when I'm painted blue, only wearing white pants. And a white hat.
And a white hat, but only this and nothing else.
I tell my wife when she comes home with a fresh baguette, I say, these Smurfs, they go into the streets, but I cannot stop them. They are in danger, but I must let them live.
I must let them. We cannot stop living. Mais non. All right, next headline.
You'll need to calm down, chain smoke another pack.
This one comes from Oregon.
Okay.
Police asked public not to call 911 if they run out of toilet paper. How many times do you think that this had to happen before the police were like, we need to put out a statement?
Okay, people are just a man on the toilet. Come in. Can you hand me a roll?
I'm trapped in here.
How do they expect them to come with like, get the emergency holster out of the bandolier of toilet paper?
Oh my god,
we're going in hot.
Can I read you the Facebook post they put out?
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to believe that we even have to post this. Do not call 911 just because you're out of toilet paper. You will survive you will survive without our assistance. In fact, history offers many options for you in your time of need if you cannot find a roll of your favorite soft, ultra plush, 2-ply scented tissue. Seamen used an old rope and anchor line soaked in salt water. Ancient Romans, a sea sponge on a stick, soaked in salt water. We are a coastal town. We have an abundance of salt water available. Seashells were also used. The 3 seashells method.
You scrape it with the seashell.
That's right. Mayans used corn cobs. Colonial Americans also used the core of the cob. Anyways, I thought it was
that's
funny.
worse. The colonials were idiots. Why wouldn't you use the husk?
They were like, you better save that now.
You know how when you bite into corn cobs and it's kind of like cratery?
You know how when you
how that would just absolutely obliterate your butthole?
When you eat corn and then it just comes out whole in your poop?
Yeah.
May as well make good use.
And then you put it back onto the
cob. You have the husk. Why not use the husk? That's what I'm saying. All right, next headline. Got a couple more for you. Alcohol-free sanitizer given to prisoners to prevent them from making moonshine.
I was making some moonshine in my cell.
Apparently, alcohol-based hand sanitizer is
you can just get the ethanol from it or whatever. Like it's not the same kind of alcohol.
If you drink ethanol, it's not a good
no, it's because
apparently
hand sanitizer
it's a controlled substance
is like 90% alcohol,
right?
Whereas like most things you drink are very little comparatively. It'll kill you if you try to drink it. I don't know if you could just moonshine is probably like 50%,
right?
It's like really high.
Yeah, it's real high.
You just mix it with water, I guess. I don't know.
I think it's more about there is
moonshine.
Some amount of alcohol in it, so they will be taking it.
That's true. They will.
Do you think anybody saw this and was like, "No, that's a hoax. It's definitely got alcohol in it. I'm still going to drink it."
Yes.
I
mean, yeah.
Someone's like, they're
even
playing
people
us.
in jail are probably like, it's fake news. It's fake news. I don't believe that.
I don't believe that.
And then they die. Imagine being drunk in jail. I feel like that would be the worst.
Is it better than being sober in jail? What's better?
Actually, I feel like being like.
I think being drunk anytime that you're not allowed to be drunk.
I feel like
it's probably a good time to try to get drunk.
Like smoking pot in jail would probably be not a chill experience.
No, because you'd be super
on the
paranoid.
Yeah, I would go, and you'd be like, I'm like a rat in a cage, dude. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage.
Machine,
whoa, man, this is real. Like it wouldn't be good. You're like, I want to listen to Bob Dylan, and they're just like,
no, it's bedtime.
Damn it!
Mom,
Warden.
Next headline: ISIS tells terrorists to steer clear of coronavirus-stricken Europe.
They're too dangerous. They're too dangerous there.
They're terrorized by the public.
We didn't even make this bioweapon. It just happened. We need to keep our people safe.
Nicaragua fights virus fears with massive public rallies.
It took me a second. I was just like, that's dumb.
That's dumb.
That's super dumb.
All right, and
what do we want? A cure for that?
What do we want? A cure. When do we want it? 911, please. I need to go to the
hospital. People protesting because they have it. They're just,
oh my God.
I hate this disease. You should elect it out of office.
What do you want for 2020? No more corona. I'll cast my ballot right now. Thanks.
Achoo.
Last headline.
Mm-hmm.
March 15th. Pubs and bars close in Ireland. March 16th, Irish develop testing kits to confirm coronavirus in 15 minutes.
March 18th, opened up bars again.
I like that. My favorite comment on this was, by the end of the week, we'll have cold fusion.
The Irish, the only thing getting in the Irish's way
was the pubs.
Is pubs. Yeah, that's distract. They're actually super genius. I'm speaking as somebody of Irish descent. We're super geniuses. And if we weren't drunk all the time, we would be fine. We would be on Mars drinking a pint
on Mars.
It'd be great.
We'd be looking down and complaining about it.
That might be one of my favorite ones, because it's just an order of events of just like that tells a full story. Yes. Oh, great.
Those are my coronavirus headlines. I'll keep you updated. The latest important news from this pandemic.
Oh. Okay, cool.
Check back in next week.
My Will Stupid thought for this week is also with coronavirus. It's people panicking causes people to panic, which causes people to panic, even if the original source of the panic is stupid.
Yep.
How do you stop this process? Because that was a thought, and I was like, okay, so what do you? Because this is in reference to like the toilet paper thing.
Yes.
That people are
right.
buying toilet paper, and so people are panicking because they think there's going to be no toilet paper, so they're going out to buy toilet paper.
Right.
But it's just there's no cause for them to get toilet. It's not dysentery. You're not shitting. People just don't not want toilet paper.
Well, when in doubt, you could always just call 911. I mean, they'll help you
the
out.
Police are like, we went to BJ's. We're just stopping by.
we just made a run actually.
You know what? And then they give you a roll, and they're just like, one ply. Oh.
Yeah, you know, at this time, you take what you can get, and you don't complain about it.
But I think it's just human nature that people just are selfish and panic.
More than anything, I think this is like a time heals all wounds kind of thing, where it's like people can only stay panicked for so long. Like eventually people will be tired of being panicked, and they won't feel the need to go to the grocery store and buy toilet paper anymore.
I think in terms of that, it will, because
it'll become normal.
Yeah, it'll go back to normal, and I think people will forget. And I think that's also a part of the human condition. Also, people will realize that they have enough. We're capable of like such violence and such stupidity, but then we forget that we are.
Yep.
Like I said to you earlier, that when you see zombie movies, you're like, people wouldn't do that. And I'm like, oh no, people would do that.
People would absolutely do that.
Because they're doing it. There was a guy that I saw an article of a guy, I think in Japan, who knew he had coronavirus, and he was specifically like, I'm going to get people infected.
Oh no.
And so he's the guy that would hide the bite and then like turn and start like just to fuck people over. He's that asshole.
He's not even the guy that's hiding the bite. He's the guy who's going around and, while not a zombie, biting people
to infect them. Yes.
What a moron.
He's just there are people who would do, and it's like that's one person in the entire world.
Right.
But it's still like there's people who are stupid and trying to kill each other over toilet paper.
I think that it's good that this pandemic has, the internet is taking it seriously, almost I would say too seriously.
I think there's a level.
There's a level of gravitas that is appropriate.
Yes.
But there's also an internal echo chamber within specifically Reddit that people start to freak the fuck out. And I'm
absolutely.
Like, just stay in your house, wash your hands a lot, and don't travel, and you're gonna like help the cause.
I think because there's I think there's two levels. There's the people who are there. This is nothing.
The people that don't believe it. Super denial.
We should do the same stuff we always do. That people are making way too big of a deal. I'm gonna walk out. I'm not gonna wash my people, that's stupid.
Right.
Then there's the other end of stupidity, which is we need to like gargle bleach in order to clean our mouths, like that kind of and people going absolutely insane.
Yes.
But you need to be in the middle, which is just like stay indoors.
Stay indoors. Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Stop making out with strangers.
I think people are anxious about it because to be proactive about it is to sit around. And so people don't like that.
Do you think in 9 months we're going to have a baby boom?
I do think that.
I think it's going to be an interesting thing, because I bet you I should have taken out bids against Tinder stock before this, because I bet you Tinder is a wasteland right now.
Oh, absolutely.
No one's swiping right. No one's going out. Kidding me? It's so funny that it takes a pandemic for people to realize like, oh, this was never really that hygienic, was it?
No, not at all.
You don't know who these people are, and you're going and swap and spit with and more with them.
Yeah, you could go and make out with a random dude on on Tinder anytime.
Right. Wild.
I just want to. I made a tweet earlier, and this will be our last thing about coronavirus, because it's not a funny thing. But I tweeted, one thing people aren't really talking about is that the coronavirus is that hypochondriacs are probably flipping the fuck out.
Oh my God.
You imagine how people, like, I'm a normal person, and I'm like, oh my God, I have it.
Right.
Like, but imagine I have it, and I have the worst version of it. Keep away, everybody.
I feel like everyone's on hyper alert to be like, do I have it?
Yeah, but they're probably not.
All right, that was our whole coronavirus intro. We only talked about coronavirus for 20 minutes, so we're doing pretty good.
Do you want to go on to Versus?
Versus
Versus is a segment in which I presented Theo with a thing that we have to pitch.
That's right.
A new thing, and we're going to compete to see who has the better one. We never come up with whoever... Well, sometimes we say this one's the best, but...
We always say that mine is the best.
Mine is always the best. So I sent a text to Theo saying, come up with a new mythological creature. I didn't specify whether it was modern day or antiquity or like what kind of mythology. Even though in my head I kind of think of Greco-Roman.
Sure.
I'm going to just start off with a few that I came up with.
Okay, go hard.
So, some of these were like kind of modern day, but they're goose. A sphinx that only asks bar trivia questions. What is the third thing on the periodic table?
Name all the states that begin with the letter C.
Oh shit! And he just vaporizes you.
You're like Colorado.
You still need to pay off your bar
Oh,
tab.
fuck, Connecticut. Damn. I'm out.
I'm done. I can't.
I'm done.
I also like that the reverse sphinx, which says, "Did you know?" And if you know that thing, you can pass.
Oh. What if it doesn't have fake news? Or is it just like...
Did you know that Sonic the Hedgehog... No,
what's like a wives' tale that's like everybody sort of believes but knows it's not true?
Oh. No, I think he would only have true stuff. It would be like, did you know that Shigeru Miyamoto got the idea for Legend of Zelda exploring caves in his adolescence?
I didn't know.
You just get vaporized. It's the OG gatekeeping.
At least you... It's the OG gatekeeper, but also you get to learn a fun fact before you die.
Yeah, you're like, I didn't know.
I wish when I'm on my deathbed, teach me something new.
Teach me how you Dougie.
Teach me.
Okay, how about you? I came up with like a bunch of these, and I'll get to my last one's going to be the one I'm going to be like, this is my verses.
Okay.
This is my main one.
Sure, I like the goof ones.
Oh, so do you have?
I have some
I forgot
goof
to
ones.
ask whether I
have a goof one that's called a Taurson. It's a man, half horse, but it's the top is the horse and the bottom is the man.
Nay. And his little legs are just flopping, and his arms are way too just out, and his hooves are just like,
nay. Because you got to think about it, like the bottom of the horse is really the most majestic part. Yeah. Like the head of the horse is the most dopey looking thing.
Everyone knows that horses' asses are just they got some good booties.
Well, they're very strong.
They're very strong.
I like it because the head of the man is the intellect and the bottom of the horse is the power. Yeah. But in this scenario, you get the top of the horse, which is not the intellect, and the bottom of the man, which is not the power.
In fact, stupid, and it has he's bitey. He just bites shit.
He's bitey and nervous.
He'll bite onto things and just start inhaling, and then his stomach will just start inflating because that's what they do.
The idea that he'd get spooked and start like fucking karate kicking people.
He just starts whacking, punching with his hooves.
Like,
I have one that Annie came up with because we were talking about this. Because I was like, what would you do? Hermit crabs that live in trash that people litter with. And bring the trash back to you.
Oh, that's neat.
Depending on how big the trash is, the bigger the hermit crab that you must battle.
That you must battle?
And yeah, you have to deal with the trash and the hermit crab.
In modern day society, we would only spend time fighting these guys.
Yeah, because people are constantly littering. So if it was like a McDonald's cup, you get a McDonald's.
Is it only litter or is it all trash?
I think litter specifically would probably be where these guys could get into it.
Smokers would be fucked.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'd just be swarmed by these guys every day.
Tiny, that's what I was saying. Like, if you throw out a giant thing, like if you have a car that's just rotting in your yard, then it's just a giant car size hermit crab coming up to get you.
I like the idea. So my next one.
Yeah.
I like the half man, half other thing combination.
I was like, what animals can I mix?
I like the idea of a giant squid, but the top of it is just someone's head. So it's like a head, but it's like a gigantic head, and it's got a bunch of tentacles coming out and it swims around.
He's like, hey,
get
closer. Get closer. He just wraps it. I'll give you a kiss.
Like, hey, could you take a picture of my family?
Dude, I just inked. Oh, I inked everywhere, dude.
Oh, God.
But is it like how? Because like a octopus or maybe it's a squid can get through any hole that is big enough. I think for a squid that their beak can fit through.
Oh yeah.
Is
So
that
it'd have
for
to
the
be their
man?
head. It's like, I know I can get through here. Just let me, come on.
My tentacles got through real easy. They're squishy as fuck. Don't know what I'm gonna do. My
I think
brain
that this
can't
animal
squish.
would need a helmet because its eyes are on the front of its
That's
head.
the worst animal. If you need a helmet,
Okay.
it's a fish that can't breathe in water.
Separate question. What animals need helmets?
I mean, none.
None?
No
There's
animals
not a
need
single-
a helmet. Why? We have to build helmets. Helmets imply that they're
Why
built.
are humans so bad that they need helmets?
That's because we're going to places. This is a thing against you. You're wearing glasses. You ever think about how many people have glasses, and if they broke their glasses, how fucked they would be?
Well, we've defeated natural selection. It's not a matter of that anymore.
Yeah. Whenever people talk about like unnatural shit, like
It's like
when people are
anybody-
like, that's not natural. I'm like, you're wearing glass on your face so you can see better.
Right.
So predators can't get you
Yep.
so good.
right.
Like if you were in nature, you'd be like, honey, what is that? Is that a tiger?
Is that a tiger? Oh,
Is that a sphinx?
Did you know?
did you know?
And then they get them.
All right.
I had one that was, well, this is just a tiny one.
All right.
Thoughts are just modern day sirens. You know, like e-thoughts, internet. You know what thoughts are?
Like THOT?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what that is.
They're modern day sirens. That's just my little goof.
That's just my little goop.
Now I'm going these are a little
You're
bit
going
modern
a
day.
little bit-
I'm
okay.
going a little bit more ancients because you know what Greeks and Romans loved? Because I was like, what would be a good Greco-Roman one? They fucking love their orgies. So some kind of satyr that sneaks into orgies and bangs someone in the hopes that they'll carry their half-beast offspring.
Oh yeah, that sounds
Honey?
legit.
Yeah,
that
that's a
sounds like
scary
something
one.
you would scare someone. Like, stay away from those orgies.
Yeah.
You're gonna get got by the boner goblin.
Mhm.
That's what it'd be called.
I also wrote a very long thing that's like an actual mythological story that I just came
Sure,
up
no,
with.
go hard.
Okay, this is not my actual one. It's because I just like the idea of this creature, and I was like, can I make an actual mythology story?
Mm-hmm.
Most mythological beasts are caused by the gods just being pissed at
Mm-hmm.
somebody or just straight up goofing. You know, it's just
This is
Zeus
goofy.
coming down. And he's like, I just want a fucking bone. Can I just get my? And then like Hera's just
He's
like,
like form
"You-"
of eagle.
And then she's just like, I didn't know that was Zeus, and Hera's just like, I'm gonna curse you instead of dealing with Zeus.
I know that I can't challenge my husband, so I'm gonna
just
curse you. I'm gonna
blind
victim
you or
blame.
something. Here's a tale of a rich, opulent, and incredibly fat man that is engaged in gluttony. Seeing this man's wealth and excess, the gods came to him disguised as beggars and were turned away. They then disguised themselves as nobles and were invited in for a lavish meal. He did not give thanks to the gods before eating, and after the meal did not give the rest of as an offering to the gods, usually in like burning it. As punishment, he was turned into a pig monster and was trapped within his opulent palace, where there was no food in the palace. But the monster did not starve. Over time, it became gaunt and skeletal. It forever stalks the halls looking for something or someone to eat to sate its hunger. I feel like it's a lot of different things that I just kind of mashed together of like the Minotaur with, because there are stories of like people who can't eat or like Midas.
Right.
Did you have
I have
any
one.
other goof ones?
No,
Or-
I had a real one.
Okay.
This is just like I didn't fully flesh it out, but it's an idea that I had. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so most mythological creatures, I feel like, are born out of a need to scare children straight.
Yes.
Like, this is something that we identified, like,
Yes.
we both identified, I guess.
Yeah.
And to teach them,
You need to have a lesson.
basically
in
to teach them to do something that they don't want to do.
it. Yeah.
So this one, I was like, what do kids not want to do? They like getting a dog. They don't like taking care of a dog.
Oh, so it's a big dog.
No, this one is
It's a lion.
I got inspiration from a shapeshifter kind of thing, where I was like, this is a monster that will walk your neighborhood in disguise and eat your pet if you
Oh.
leave it out.
That's
Call it a wanderer.
Oh no.
So it might look like a mailman or your neighbor.
It's a more threatening skin changer.
Yes, and I could see it. I could definitely see someone like seeing a lost dog poster and them being like, all right, you know what happened to this one? Like, they didn't take care of their dog.
It's it, but for dogs.
But for dogs, yes.
Come here.
Instead of a red balloon, he's just got like a little bone on a stick. He's like, come here. He's like chasing it around the street.
Don't you want it?
Don't you want it,
Don't you
boy?
want it?
That's my
Down here, we always go for walkies.
He's like, I like this.
Woof, 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 yay! And he just like
Fuck
dives.
you, little Timmy. I'm gone.
Got him.
All right, tell me yours.
All right, this is my real one. This was like an amalgam of like, because when Annie and I were going back and forth, we came up with just like different ideas, and we just like just kind of amalgamated them into like a creature that is, I feel like, pretty modern.
Okay.
It could be any time though. A little creature with large hands that looks like a cross between a man, raccoon, and a rat. Over time, it will start adding objects to your house, like a small toy or a sock. It will then add more and more things, and until it begins living with you. So it just like over time, you're like, this isn't my
You're like,
sock.
where did this come from?
I don't know where this came. Honey, is this your sock? And if you don't get rid of it, then it starts overwhelming the house, and it becomes like a hoarder's nest.
Oh, God.
So like it begins with
That
one
sounds like my
sock, and then
nightmare.
it just starts getting more and more. The only way to get rid of the creature is to get rid of all of its stuff, which is hard to do when it hits critical mass because it's going to be adding
It's going to
more
be added,
stuff.
yeah. Is it an exponential rate of adding?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Get it to pay rent, or trick it to do chores and or clean up all of its things.
I like that.
So it's basically a tale of bad roommates.
It's just a bad roommate.
It's a shitty roommate.
You're like,
Or
is
like,
this-
or
is this
somebody who's
mine?
like, I'm just gonna be on your couch for a little bit.
Yep.
Or just like my girlfriend will
Sometimes-
just leave individual things.
Sometimes there are things in my house where I'm like, first of
Whose
all,
is
like,
this?
whose is this? But second of all, like, why does this object exist? Like, there was one time
Wait,
where
what?
I was going through our cupboards, and then someone had brought home and put in our cupboards a quesadilla press, and I was like, why does this object exist?
You just need a. That's just a weighted object.
It's a shittier panini press.
Yes. Why wouldn't you?
Or
Panini?
it's just a pan with heat.
There's a lot of niche products.
There's a lot of weird, like, why would I
you're
populate
going to
my
have in your
kitchen with
house.
this object?
Oh, I need to name this. I need to name this thing.
A
What would
Packrat.
be- That's perfect.
Yeah.
Packrat. Oh, you're smart.
you
I
go.
can't wait to hear yours now because you smartened up mine.
There you go, boy. There you go.
The Packrat.
The Packrat. That sounds terrifying.
Just having it, I just imagine because it's like raccoon hands.
Yeah.
Because we're like, it needs to be like trashy, but like
Ugh.
with bigger hands.
Trashy but bigger.
Yeah, maybe
So
a human
neat.
face. He's like,
Ugh.
So yes, you.
He's like looking around. He's like, ugh.
ew, my things.
Oh, God. Gross.
Gross.
I think yours wins. Yours is way better fleshed out.
Oh well, do yours.
No, I did mine. The Wanderer was mine.
Oh, the one. Okay.
I was like, I didn't
thought you
think
had
about it.
one
I was like,
more.
oh, God.
Okay, so so the decision, I guess, that we'll post to the
I like
audience.
yours. Yours has
is-
a more like visual, like I can see it.
You can vision his little
can
hands,
visualize it.
his big hands. I like yours because it is like I can imagine people being like, "Dog went missing.
Dog went missing.
It was the Wanderer."
Yeah.
Like that is like folklore to me.
Yeah. And it provides another thing that it does is it teaches a kids a lesson, but it also provides an explanation for the unexplainable. Like, why would would your dog run away? We have no explanation.
I think
a monster got it.
I think
don't
yours
know.
gives more of an explanation for a natural thing, whereas
Right.
mine is just kind of like more like a gnome or a pixie. Like
Yeah.
it's like things that will happen to you if you let
I feel
it.
like yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yours is folklore, mine's is like fairy tale.
Right. That's a good
So-
good distinction.
Anyway,
Thanks
I think
for that.
we're all winners here.
Hey.
Every time we say
Very
that about
supportive-
verses, because we
very
don't want to
supportive
be.
message.
I don't want to be like mine is better. This is-
better.
We can leave it to the audience.
Is it time for the next segment?
It is time for that.
Well, I'm
segment.
very excited about this segment.
Are you?
Well,
I'm excited that
I've
you're
been waiting
excited.
for 2 weeks to tell you about this segment.
Jesus Christ.
We need to talk about the Cars universe.
Okay, what do we need to?
There's a lot that's going on with the Cars universe.
What's happening
All right.
with the Cars universe?
So
what new developments
one-
are happening with the Cars universe?
this
Did they announce Cars 3?
my friend James alerted me to this whole situation, and he
wanna-
sent me an article.
No, you can't just say, is he a Cars fanatic? Do I not
No,
know that
he
about
just
James?
loves memes.
He just comes in with a Lightning McQueen.
and he's like, "Listen, brother, Cars
the door.
3, okay?
Hulk Hogan.
He's going for gold one last time."
I'm here and it's gonna be Cars Mania. I'm gonna destroy
There's gonna be
anyone
no track left
who
when I'm done with
thinks
them.
that Airplanes is a better film. It's not.
It's not.
Cars 2 was a flub, but Cars 3 is when they're gonna come back.
Okay.
Anyway.
There are a lot of questions that are raised by the universe building in Cars.
The Cars universe.
Cars universe. So this was the thing that I've prepared is a combination of my own thoughts and from this site Intelligencer.
I'm expecting, is it, because you're like bringing up, is it going to be like the anatomical drawings people have done of
that's a
how
portion
you
of it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so here we go. Let's get started. So in the Cars universe, there's a movie called Planes.
Yes.
And in Planes, there is a character named Skipper who is a retired Navy plane.
Okay, so so that implies there's a Navy.
Therefore, there are wars in the Cars universe.
Yes. Okay. Yes. There's at least defense.
In fact, in his confession to Dusty, he mentioned that he only flew one mission in the Pacific where a squadron of trainees were killed. Planes were killed.
Okay.
Okay. During an attack on the Japanese Navy.
Wait.
So we have concepts here that are buck wild for Cars. The Japanese exist in the Cars universe.
Okay. So the world is the same. It's just all cars.
Yes.
There is Japan.
There is Japan.
Are they different cars? And if
Are
so,
they just Japanese manufacturers?
Yes.
So the first point I want to address here, I know you're going off on tangent,
yes,
but we're going to get to it all.
Okay.
We're going to get to it all. I'm going to steer the conversation.
I'm ready.
We're going to go first. At what point does a plane die? Can a plane be rebuilt from its salvage parts and retain its sentience and its memories? It's like the ship of Theseus, right?
Yes. That's immediately what I thought of.
Right?
Well, if you give it the part of another plane,
right,
would it have different memories?
My
wife. What happened? You were never married. What?
How much of a plane is its being and its essence, right?
Yeah.
Because there must, like, if you take off a wing, is it still a plane? If you take off both wings, is it still a plane? If you take off the propeller, is it still the plane?
I think there has to be a brain.
There has to be a brain.
There has to, because I think that's the thing. Because you can lose an arm. I think that's the equivalent of losing a wing.
So you're raising the question here of, are cars mechanical or biological?
The fact that you say that like it is a subsection of this fucking article.
It is.
God damn it.
No, not of this article, but of my own internal thoughts here.
So you have a cork board with
yes,
what do cars mean?
Very much so. So at first blush, you would assume that they're mechanical, right? Because they have parts. They can break down.
Theo, I can imagine you trapping somebody at a party with this, and it's glorious in my mind. Where you're just like, you know about cars? And they're like, I know of. You mean the movie? And you're just like, well,
let me tell you.
Let me tell you about cars.
Okay, so we would assume that they're mechanical, right?
Yeah.
But in Cars 2, Mater takes a big helping of what he thinks is pistachio ice cream. It turns out it's wasabi, and he eats it just by sticking out his tongue and licking it up.
Okay.
All right? So this implies that there's at least some biological mechanism, unless it's just for fun, and in which case which is buck wild, that they can just like for fun eat things.
Okay. Maybe it's like in Steven Universe, this is a reference that that you're not getting, but the crystal gems don't need to eat, but one of the characters does because she thinks it's fun.
Sure, okay.
So it's like, maybe it's like that, but it does imply a digestive system.
Because they have to be able to process this.
And then, unless they're like Kermit the Frog and they just like have
they're
no
like the Cookie Monster.
Yeah, they don't have a hole for the food to go into.
Right.
Interesting.
So on the flip side, they do also fuel up. Like they refuel. And they talk about gasoline. The quote is fossil fuel, as in dead dinosaurs. So in this universe, there are dinosaurs.
There are dinosaurs. Maybe they were car dinosaurs.
Exactly. Are they dinosaurs or are they car dinosaurs? Oh, and this brings up the question, if they are car dinosaurs, are they burning their ancestors to zoom around?
Who's their aliens? Burnt up aliens. Oh my god. Aliens. Are aliens also cars?
Are aliens also cars? I love this. I think it's so good.
Keep going. I know there's more.
Next point. So that's the whole biological versus mechanical conundrum. I don't know. I think that they're probably somewhere in the middle.
That they have.
My working theory, when I was doing this research, my working theory was that their brain was in the cockpit.
Yes. Right? I saw an anatomical drawing that the brain was in the cockpit.
Right. Because their eyes are the windshield,
Here's the thing though. There are doors.
There are doors.
Can you open it up and it's just like it's just a brain?
Not only that, but there is a character in the Cars universe whose eyeballs are headlights and their windshield is clear and you can see through.
Oh, what the fuck?
which breaks the whole internal organs theory altogether. It bashes it into
Maybe
smithereens.
he just has like a growth. Like that's just his growth is glass.
It's just glass.
It's just like, maybe his
Right.
brain's somewhere else. Maybe it's the engine. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the heart is the engine.
Right.
But is it an engine or heart?
But could you take out the engine of a car and replace it with a different engine and have it still be the same car?
You can do that for I mean, if we say it's a heart, you can do it
sure,
for a person.
but then what's the brain? Where is the brain residing? Because I think you're right that the engine
I don't
is
think
more
they
like
need
a-
to be. I don't think it needs to be one for one with everything. Maybe
Okay.
it'd be navigation system, like
Sure,
things that have
okay.
computer. But then again, like
But
Mater.
okay, so
Mater doesn't have.
also
that.
there's a
Fuck.
point that there is also
When a car gets rusty, is that old?
they also
or is it just
established that cars
filthy?
are always they're made in the style of the time period which they're built,
Okay.
right?
So
So they're like 1920s cars.
Is there any point that the cars have like a bundled baby car, like that parents are with their baby car? Are there baby cars?
There
Or
are
they just-
absolutely baby cars because they make a reference to being born.
Okay, so they're born.
They are born.
So there's boning.
There's boning.
There's some kind of reproduction going on. Maybe it is asexual reproduction.
The whole question of what form do they take when they're built? This raises an interesting question.
Is it?
Because they make reference to the car pope.
What the fuck?
And
There's religion?
So the car pope, they
Dude.
not only is there a car pope, but there's a car pope mobile, which means the car pope rides around in a different car who is
So there are assassins.
presumably
A car pope has been assassinated.
Right, but the question of the car pope being Catholic implies that there was a car Jesus who was nailed to a cross
Yeah.
and died for our sins.
That must have been quite a production to get him
But
on the
what
cross.
kind of car would he have been?
Oh. Well, he was a
Was he
chariot.
a wagon?
Maybe he was a wagon. I mean, it could be because I heard the theory that the Pixar universe is all in one universe.
Sure.
The Pixar theory.
Okay.
That this is like, I don't know, this is like post-apocalypse where cars have taken over. There were people
Okay.
and they've maybe just like
They've
continued the society.
Okay, so they have all the cultural
So
touch
maybe
points.
they don't know who Jesus. They have the Pope, but they don't have
Right.
like car Jesus. There's
But
real
they have
Jesus.
car Catholicism
They have car Catholicism. They just took regular Catholicism,
and made it car.
made it human Catholicism to car Catholicism. But there's so many other questions. That's not like that. Maybe explains a little bit.
Just a tiny micro snapshot.
That helps a tiny bit, but it's okay. So let's say they are biological. They have a mouth.
Sure.
They must have a brain.
They must have a brain.
Maybe it's a mix.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's a mix of mechanical and biological.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like what parts would be. This is one of those things that, I mean, the answer is, it's a children's movie. That's
an unacceptable answer.
That they did not
I
give a
refute
shit.
that. I refute this.
I know.
All right, we
That's-
need to-
I'm with you, but that is the answer.
We need to move on because it gets deeper and worse.
Okay, I can't believe. there's
Okay,
more.
so back to Skipper
okay,
in the Navy.
yes,
Skipper wasn't just a veteran. He's a veteran of the Cars universe equivalent of World War II, which means in the Cars universe, there was a Cars Hitler who killed millions of Cars Jews.
what kind of car was he?
What kind of car was he? That also means there was a car Mussolini, a Cars Lenin, and a Cars Stalin.
There was a car Holocaust.
Yes, there was a Cars Holocaust.
Okay.
In a children's movie.
In a children's movie, there was a Cars Holocaust.
Does that...
They don't show it in the movie. It isn't Schindler's List.
That means in the Cars universe, they have formed the ideals of fascism and communism in the Cars universe. Well,
Oil for all people equally. You can carry whatever load you want. We'll make car Germany great again.
and this is backed by the fact that in Cars 1, in the post-credit scene, so in Cars 1, in the town of Radiator Springs,
Yes.
there's the little guy who owns the tire shop. And his whole life he's wanted to meet a Ferrari.
Okay.
And at the end of the movie, he freaks out because a Ferrari comes and visits him.
in the context of the movie,
Yes.
how buck wild is it? Because that's like saying, I've always wanted to meet a black man. Like,
Yeah,
in
no,
the
it is.
context
It is.
of, it's
It
just
is-
a different car.
And not only is it like saying that, but there's the implication that there's like an inherent class system
Yeah, if you're a
and
better
caste
car.
associated with being a better car.
That's very, like,
Like being an Italian,
Ableist.
like an Italian manufactured car, like supercar.
Yeah.
Just being born that makes you better.
like
than
you're,
other
you're
cars.
like being, it's
Like,
like
if
being
you're born
as an athlete. Like
if you're
as
born as like a
Olympic level.
forklift, like you're fucked.
You're
like
fucked.
that's your whole life.
Do you ever think that the AA gun that was probably also sentient that shot down the other planes in World War in cars
You
in
don't
World
get
War
any
II?
remorse.
Do you ever
Use a vehicle.
how did they kill it? There was because
Oh
were
my
there
God.
cars with guns?
Cars, tanks. Tanks.
That could be a whole movie.
That's horrifying. They're basically
that
they're basically
sentient
soldiers.
tank. Yeah, and they got to shoot out from their body.
Oh my
Who's
God.
loading them? They just
What
have
kind
it
of car
built
is the president?
in. He's an armored. He's one of those limos.
Is he
that
Air
with
Force
the-
One?
with the flags on the?
Does he
corner?
ride in Air Force One, or is he Air Force One?
Ooh, if he rides in, can you ride in another car?
I think you can.
Because
You
there's
could because
Popemobile.
because there.
Is
Oh, this is a
Popemobile
whole other
sentient?
thing. This is a whole other thing. So, at one point, I think it was in Cars 2, they go through, or maybe it was in Planes. They go through TSA, and they have to take off.
So there's
bear with me.
Yeah.
They take off their tires to go through their TSA.
that's
It's
like taking
it's like a
off their
joke.
feet. Yeah,
It's like taking off their shoes, right? To some degree, that implies that there was a Cars 911.
that's what I thought. I was
Right.
like, "There's Cars 911. There was a sentient plane that went.
Was there a
into-
sentient plane, or was it hijacked
Oh fuck, dude! By a car.
by a car on the inside?
Imagine being.
There's so many questions.
There's so many questions, and they don't go into any of
They
them.
don't go into any answers. They
Fuck,
just raise the
dude.
questions.
Should we go to if they have a Cars panel at Comic-Con? We should just like buy tickets to Comic-Con, go
Well-
there, and with our
Well,
cars,
we
like
are the Cars panel. They have no answers for
Shit.
us.
we're the new lore masters. We've talked about this more than they have.
We're gonna stand outside Comic Con and be like, "Know the real truth behind the Cars universe.
We
they don't want you to
answers.
know."
We want answers. What the fuck are cars?
My final point:
Yeah.
for there to be a Cars World War II, there needs to be have been a Cars World War One.
Okay, so they're in trenches and they're
There's like mustard gas,
Yeah.
and gas masks and rudimentary tanks, I guess.
what happens to car bodies? Do they put them in a
Do they
scrap
bury
heap?
them? Do they compact
Do
them?
they make them into other cars?
That's pretty morbid if they compact them. Oh, scrap metal.
Scrap metal.
Oh no, that's a
It's
whole
just
question.
meat. It's like the equivalent would be just corpse meat.
Oh no, that's terrifying.
That would be a funny bit if they did compact them into a tiny cube and then bury that in a normal plot, like
my
and just
God.
slowly lower it down.
So the earlier we get to like World War One, it means that there were like those were very early
that's-
days of
so the-
automobiles. So like, what did the Cars universe look like before cars were invented? Like 1700. What does the Cars universe look like?
I have an explanation other than a post-apocalypse.
Okay,
You know the movie The Matrix?
I do know the movie The Matrix.
You know how it's a simulation
yes.
in the minds of humans that it is 1990 something, wherever the movie takes
Sure.
place?
So they just take history for granted.
We've done that because our cars have gotten too smart.
We put the
And
cars
we put
in the
them in a
tanks.
virtual reality of that they rule the world.
Putting Alexa in the car was a mistake.
It was a mistake, and
was
now
a
they're
mistake.
thinking a little too
They
hard.
were thinking a little too hard.
And so we put them into this Cars universe where they've had all of our history,
like-
and now they're up to 1990.
we got to a
and
point where we were like, "Car, take me to KFC," and the car was like directing to Jim, and you're like, "No, don't make me. I don't want so."
There's like Cars Morpheus, and
Oh
he's
my
just like,
God.
"Welcome to the real world."
I am Cars Morpheus.
Whoa, your car's Neo, and it's Lightning McQueen. It's great. Or is it Mater? Whoa,
Whoa!
I can't believe
Yeah,
it.
who's the most woke Cars universe character?
Do you think they ever look at each other and they're like, "We're fucking cars.
We're cars,
oh my
dude.
God, dude."
Dude, we're cars.
Would you rather be? What kind of vehicle would you want to be?
Mm.
A car, a plane, a boat,
I like to be a motorcycle.
You could have more. I feel like you could get out of situations, but you'd be tiny. Like people could.
You could get out of a Cars
bully
zombie
you.
apocalypse easier.
Jesus Christ, dude! You can't say shit like that to me. Because we just. There's more to this article. I know you're going to be like, we're only hitting this. We're scratching the surface. I'm supposed to be the conspiracy guy. You're not supposed to.
I think the well is pretty. We've pretty much explored the well in terms of exploring the fact
history.
that Cars universe, Cars Hitler, Cars 9/11. Like we've hit all the major plot points here.
There's 4 hours of content, or maybe 6. I don't know how long the movies are.
There's Cars 1, 2, and 3 in planes.
Is 3 out?
3 is out. Yeah, 3 is
I
out.
didn't even know because I didn't.
You're not a real Cars man.
I've not watched a single Cars movie. So let's say there's 8 hours of content. We could probably talk about this for the equivalent of the entire movies, if not more,
and still have not many answers.
Yes. So
I don't like that the creators just willy nilly are throwing out details and not backing them up.
They can do that. They're the creators.
I know it's a children's movie, but still,
I know it's terrible, and I hate it.
Explain your lore.
There's no lore. The lore is that there's no lore. It's Cars. It's Cars. It's not the fucking Bible. It's not
just Cars.
Nobody is pouring over this. This is for chill.
I am pouring over this.
You are.
I am.
Let's talk about Toy Story now. So Toy Story, do they move like Buzz Lightyear? He thinks he's not a toy, and yet he still freezes when people are around. What's up with that?
Stop it. Stop it.
I'm making fun of you now. You're getting roasted now.
I love it. I think this is a great whole tangent.
It was
Laura, my girlfriend, her theory is that that cars are an alien species observing humanity.
In emulating them?
In real, like it's like they're on a far off distant planet and they're observing and getting like thousands of hundreds of light years away, like getting updates.
That theory is interesting, but I like my Matrix one better.
You like your Matrix one better?
Because I feel like it's because the Cars one implies that they know about humanity, but they never imply
your
that
Cars
ever.
Theory, though. What do we get out of putting them in the tanks?
They don't take over.
Right, but if we can catch them and put them in tanks, why don't we just destroy them?
No, they're still driving around. It's just in the cloud, they are having this world to take up some CPU.
Oh, so
power.
we've created it in the cloud for their AIs.
I think we made AIs that are a little too complex, and we can't run them back, and so we trap them in the cloud, and so they're just like, take a left, like because that's all people want. They don't want like
right.
Hi there, I'm Meter. How are you doing?
Imagine if Mater was your AI.
Take
in your car.
a left, you piece of shit.
Oh God, please don't.
You got any chewing tobacco?
The last point I'll make.
Yeah,
is that they establish that tractors in the universe are the equivalent of cows.
Oh, ooh, there's a lot of questions there.
That's a lot of juice right there, isn't it?
Speaking of juice, tractor milk. They gotta have it if they're real cows. Do they?
I think that their way out of this is that they said that they only use them as like animals of burden, like for carrying things, and towing things.
But
this does imply
they eat the meat
that it implies that there's some like tiered system of intelligence.
Yeah, which goes back to our classism,
right?
That their tractors are on the bottom.
Like tractors have the equivalent intelligence of cows.
They're the plebs,
right?
And then there's like
they've basically enslaved cows, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's enough distinction between a car and a tractor that you can call them fundamentally different species.
This is like if we got like mentally disabled people and made them do our work. Like put a like hoe onto them and then like made them
dark path.
We're there. This is what Cars has done to us.
Cars have done to us.
So there's so many levels. The fact that there was Cars Holocaust. Cars 9/11. You brought this on me, and now I'm here with you.
Yes.
We're both here.
Yes, we're both
looking
in this
down upon Cars,
and we can't get out.
We got the corkboard. We're looking, and we're just like, we can't make sense of it. And then like Mr. Pixar is gonna come, and he's gonna be like, we just made shit up, and we're gonna be like, no, there's a meaning to it. And then
Mr. Pixar is gonna be like, oh, and by the way, they eat car pigs as car meat, and you're gonna be like, what the?
What are car pigs? What are they?
What are they?
Like, what would car? No, we're not. We're done. We're already at time.
We're done.
We're at time. I'm done with this episode. We spent like 30 minutes talking about Cars, the movie that I haven't thought about.
It's important to think about your lore before you put it out in the world. Pixar.
Important. This is important to nobody.
Oh my God. Laura also claims that Cars is the best Pixar movie. Just gonna leave that where it is. I'm not gonna touch it. We're gonna walk away. Will, we're walking away.
Theo,
Will,
I don't want to step into your relationships.
No, we're walking.
But
Will, I've turned your head.
You need to make up with her right now. You need to get out the horn right now.
Oh no!
And you need to either say we need to watch The Incredibles because it's the best one.
Yes.
Or
we're walking away from this.
Or walk away from the relationship. Laura, I'm joking, of course. But I am sorely disappointed in you, Laura. I know Theo's going to make you listen to this episode and the madness you have helped wrought.
You have wrought.
So thank you, everyone, except for Laura.
Thank you for joining us on this corkboard adventure that we've just gone on. We've dragged you along.
I had another segment, but fuck that shit. I'm too.
Your mind is too blasted at this point.
Yeah, I can't. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this episode of Segment City. If you love Cars and want to tell us about it, send us an email at segmentcitypodcast@gmail.com. If you want to tweet about Cars to us, at Segment City. If you want to go to our YouTube channel and look at all those good Cars memes that we put up there, because now I'm putting up the best ofs. I'm putting up the individual segments. Please send them to people. This is going to be
a half-hour best of.
Yeah. God damn it. You know what? It genuinely is. It genuinely probably is going to be in there. And don't forget to rate, subscribe on any podcast networks that you listen to us on, like Spotify or iTunes or any of that.
Any of those. And last but not least, shout out to our good friend Rachel Robson. She did the intro music for our podcast. She has a podcast of her own called Create Loud. You can check it out. You should check it out. Mm-hmm. You should send it to a friend. You should send it to me.
She's great. Every time I listen to her intro music, I'm like, this is real good.
I'm like, wowie.
Wow. It's me, Lightning McQueen. How's it going?
Oh, wow.
What if they took his soul? What if they put his brain into the car? What if
Will end the podcast? Well, and we're going too deep. He's going to explode.
I gotta come down. Breathing. There are no cars. There's no such thing as cars.
Do cars breathe? Do they have lungs?
Fuck you!